So we're going to name the height of this pyramid. Height is what I call the height, AF, that goes right through the middle, versus the slant height is on the slant there, AG. And of course the letters order doesn't matter. Here the slant height is again slanted, AC, versus the height is on the inside of the shape, AB. Pythagorean theorem to solve in our right triangle is going to be x squared plus 9 squared equals 15 squared. And of course we've done this so many times. X squared is 144 and the square root of 144 is 12. Here similarly we have 12 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared. That slant height is the hypotenuse. And this is another Pythagorean triple. X is 13. Great. We remember our formula for circumference, pi times diameter. Of course, the formula for area, pi r squared. Here, the radius is 6 millimeters and the diameter is 12. The exact circumference, pi times diameter, is 12 pi versus the approximate is 3.14 times 12, 37.68. Our exact area is pi symbol times radius, 36 pi. Or 3.14 times radius, 113.04. Area squared. Similarly here, now the radius is 5, diameter is 10, so pi times diameter will be 10 pi. 10 times 3.14, 31.4. Pi times 5 is 25 pi, and then 25 times 3.14, 78.5. And we've done those so many times. Here's really our new formulas, and you don't have to memorize these. So the lateral area of pyramid, is slant height times perimeter divided by 2. And if it's a cone, it's slant height times circumference divided by 2, basically the same formula. And then because these only have one base for the total areas, you take the lateral area and only have to add on the area of the base one time. So here in my pyramid, perimeter of the base, 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 20, and the slant height is 4. 20 times 4 divided by 2 is 40 yards squared. Area of the base, since it's a square, is 5 times 5, and if I add up 40 plus 25, that's how I get 65. Similarly here, the perimeter of the base, 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 is 28. Slant height is 8. If I multiply 28 times 8 divided by 2, I get 112. The base is a square, so 7 times 7 is how I'm getting 49. And then I'm adding those two up to 224 centimeters squared. For the cone, now I've got a radius of 8, diameter of 16. Exact circumference would be 16 pi yards, and the slant height is 10. When I multiply those two together, 160 pi yards squared. Exact area of the base, pi times radius, 8 times 8 is 64. And when I add those two up, oh, oops, I forgot to divide by 2, didn't I? Yikes, sorry. So this one, it should have been 16 pi times 10 divided by 2 is 80 pi. Sorry about that, yards squared. And then I add them up to 144 pi. Here I'm doing approximate, so 5 and 10. We had this earlier, 3.14 times 10 is 31.4, and the slant height looks like 5. Then I'm going to multiply 31.4 times 5 divided by 2 is how I get 78.5. Area of the base there is 3.14 times 5 is also 78.5, and then that adds up to 157 centimeters squared. For these at the bottom, I like to write out the formula, perimeter times slant height divided by 2. So 70 equals 10 times slant height divided by 2. Well, 70 divided by 2 is 5, and then, 10 divided by 2 is 5. 70 divided by 5 gives me my final answer of 14. Here, total area is lateral area plus the area of the base, so that adds up to 75 pi centimeters squared. And then here, slant height, okay, so the lateral area is 20 pi equals perimeter, it's cone, so it's circumference times slant height divided by 2. Or 20 pi, 8 divided by 2 is 4. And if I divide both sides by 4, I get the circumference is 5 pi.
Here we have the area or the volume of a pyramid or cone, which is area base times the actual height divided by 3. And you don't have to memorize that formula. So here the area of that base is a square, so it's 10 times 10 or 100 meters squared. Height is 8 meters, so 100 times 8 divided by 3. So 800 divided by 3, that doesn't go in evenly. You can leave it like that if you want, or you can divide it out on the calculator. Here the area of the base, 18 times 18, and that's 324 feet squared. Height is 15 feet, so we're going to do 324 times 15 divided by 3, which is 1620 feet cubed. For the cone, we're going to do the radius of 4, so exact area of the base, pi symbol times 4 is 16 pi centimeters squared. Height is 6 centimeters, so 16 pi times 6 divided by 3 is going to be 32 pi centimeters cubed. Here the radius is 12, 24 divided by 2, so approximate is going to be 3.14 times 12 times 12. It's a pretty big number, 46656 inches squared. Height is 7, and we're going to multiply 46656 times 7 divided by 3. And that gives us 108,864 inches cubed. Almost done. Let's see, I got to write out the formula. Volume is area of the base times height divided by 3. So 42 equals 9 times height divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3, so if I divide 42 divided by 3, I get 14. Again, volume is area of the base times height divided by 3. So the 50 pi is the area of the base, which we don't know, times 6 divided by 3, but 6 divided by 3 is 2. So if I divide both sides by 2, I'm going to get 25 pi centimeters squared. And then here the volume is, I can just write it, area of the base, which is 25 pi, or 20 pi, times the height, which is 12, divided by 3. And 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 80 times 20 times 4 is 80 centimeters cubed for volume. Almost done. So the last shape is a sphere. So the total area is 4 pi r squared, and then the volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. And of course you don't need to know the formulas. Here the radius is 5, so exact is going to be 4 times 5 times pi, which is 100 pi feet squared. And then 4 times 3.14 times 5 is going to be 314 feet squared. Exact and approximate. Here the radius is 7 because it looks like the diameter is 14. So 4 times pi times 7, which is 196 pi centimeters squared. Approximate is going to be 4 times 3.14 times 7, which is 615.44. If the radius, let's see, 4 times pi times r equals 100 pi. If I divide both sides by 4 pi, I'm going to get radius times radius is 25. So the radius here is 5 yards. Or 4 pi r times r equals 36 pi. Again, if I divide, now I'm going to have r times r equals 9, so the radius is 3 yards. Perfect. Last thing is the volume. That's 12 inches, 4/3 pi r cubed, so 4 divided by 3 times pi times 12 times 12 times 12. And I'm just going to do that on a calculator. So this is 2304 pi inches cubed. And one thing I do if I'm going to do approximate, another trick is to just take that exact answer and times it by 3.14. So then I have 7234.56 inches cubed. It's a little bit easier, I think, when it's a multiple of 3. Well, I guess that one was a multiple of 3, so 6. So 4/3 pi times 6 times 6 times 6. So that's 288 pi. And then when I multiply that by 3.14, 904.32. If the radius is, we'll find the radius if the volume is 36 pi. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3/4 pi, or 3 over 4 pi really, because that's going to cancel that out. And this one's a little bit tough, right? That goes in 9 times. I think it's r cubed is 27, so the radius is 3. So you're just really working backwards. 4/3 pi r cubed equals 256 over 3 pi. So if I multiply both sides by that 3 over 4 pi, 3 over 4 pi, everything cancels. And I believe here I'm going to get r cubed is 64, so the r is 4. So there you have it.